Hi, this is Jane from Scraptastic Yarns Podcast. Today I thought I would do a yarn haul and a little giveaway because I've reached 100 subscribers. And I think it's pretty neat. So, first I'm going to start with the yarn. Later on I will give you the rules for the giveaway. It's going to run through April the 9th. And on the 10th, I will record the winner. And it's open to anyone that can receive mail from the U.S. This is something I've taken out of my own pocket. There will be a couple of surprise items included, but I'm going to show you the yarn that I'm going to include in the giveaway. But first of all, I thought I'd start with the yarn haul. You know, one of my favorite places to go to just to double check and to make sure that yarn isn't going into landfill is in our area. We have a place called Scraps and Skeins in State College, Pennsylvania, and I've told you about it before. Many times they will resell yarn at lower prices than you would normally get them in the stores. And these are yarns that people have taken out of their stash, or possibly they've had family members that have passed away, and so they've donated it to this group, Scraps and Skeins, which benefits Strawberry Fields, which is a project through the United Way that also it helps people who are disabled mentally and physically. It teaches them some job skills. A lot of the gals that work in the store, it's a very bright, happy place. And it just gives them some skills to further their life. So first of all, I'm going to go through some of the yarns that I got free. Yeah, free. I've told you in the past about this one treasure chest that they have, that anything that's in that treasure chest is free. Many times when you go back in the back into the room where the yarn is stored, and yarn, knitting, crochet tools, cross stitch, those kind of things, they do have some balls that have been wound up with a ball winder, and they sell those little things for about 50 cents a ball, which really isn't a bad price, because so far I've been able to get about 2.5, possibly 3 baby hats out of it. You can generally get a full adult hat out of one of those balls with some scraps. And of course, yesterday I showed you what I do with my scraps. I've been turning them into these scrap buster blankets. But anyway, and there's going to be crinkling. I'm sorry about that. This bag is yarns that I got free. There's also this yarn as well. I'm going to tell you a little bit about this yarn. This one, because it was quite a find. And there are a couple of baby things, and some green and some off-white. And, we do baby items, so oftentimes that comes in handy. Now I do wind these up in this center pole ball using my thumb. Either that or a Nosta pin. I do have an electric ball winder, and I also have one that you hand crank from Knit Picks. But one of the things that I don't like about those, even with the center pull ball, is the center hole. I don't know why they have to have such a large hole in the center. I don't like that. So I use my thumb or a dowel stick or my Nosta pin to wind, and it takes about the same amount of time once you get used to it. This yarn was knitted up into a cable pattern, and it was a beautiful cable pattern, but it was in the Freebie box, and it was probably about, say, this big, you know, maybe 12 inches, and it was a rectangle, and then it had a couple of pieces attached to it that were a strap. So I'm assuming the person that knitted it up was probably going to turn it into a handbag or something. But I noticed when I picked it up, being in the free box, it was double-stranded, held together while they did that. I undid it and turned it into it is a single ply that was held together. It most likely was something that was spun up, possibly, you know, hand spun. I don't think it was a commercial, just because of the way that it looks. It's thick, thin type thing. But I got 3 balls about this size and 2 small balls out of it. And I plan on using that to make some hats. When I did the burn test on this was 100% wool. So, you know, you never know what you're going to find in that free bag. I also picked up another nice different amounts of some pretty different yarns, all in the free. This was one that was in the freebie. And, you know, typical Red Heart. I'm pretty sure that's a pretty full skein. I would assume that is a Red Heart brand as well. It's a real pretty pink. This is a nice little speckled ball that I got. You'll notice that I put, I take knee-high pantyhose, cut them in half, and put them on my ball, because I like to knit crochet from the center. And, you know, as you do that, it kind of collapses in on itself. This kind of helps it hold it together so you don't have a lot of those issues. And you can see some of the pretty yarns. That's a Red Heart with some pretty flecks of like a brown, a rust, a red, black in it. That, I believe, is Vanna's Choice, but I'm not positive. It's got some shades of purple. Got another, this looks like it's probably a Simply Karen. And here's another one that looks like it's a Simply Soft by Karen, which I have quite a few of those that I'm put together as well. This was a nice little variegated. It's got some blues and things, and I've got another one that I purchased that I think is a close match to it, but I'll go show you that a little bit later. And of course, there's a nice little baby yarn that's got some pretty colors in it. You know, it can be added to a sweater when you knit and crochet. You know, I do a lot of that anyway, so. Now I'm going to go with some of those that I purchased. And most of these that were purchased, the balls were $1, some of them 50 cents. This is a real pretty, I like that. It's got some greens and blues, little sparkly, shiny stuff in it. And it was $1. This nice little variegated color was 50 cents. I would imagine it'll make a couple of nice hats. This one as well was 50 cents. And you can see they use the ball winder with those. This one was 50 cents. This was 50 cents. It's almost a full small skein of some Red Heart yarn. This, I don't know what brand or flavor it is, But it came as it was just a big ball that was rolled up. I think it's probably, I would imagine it most likely is a Red Heart Yarn Super Saver. And of course I just rolled that big ball up and with my thumb. Then I also received Crinkle, Crinkle, Crinkle. Sorry. Then I also got a ball of this, and this was 50 cents. Has a nice little shine to it. When I do the burn test on it, I get that it is mostly wool. I think it is a wool acrylic blend because there is a little bit of, and I don't think it's much acrylic. It's mostly wool. Don't know what it is, but it'll make a nice couple of hats. You know, either most likely for prayer shawl, it'll make a hat. Now we'll get into some of the other yarns that I purchased. There goes my light. Sorry about that. Accidents happen. These are some purchases that I made this week at AC Moore. AC Moore had yarn on sale. Got a real pretty, this is called Teal. And it is the Nicole Classic Studio yarn. I really like it. I also got a nice pink and white variegated. It's called Baby Pink Mix. It's almost time to start making some more baby hats. Last month we turned in, at one week we turned in 82 last month. The second week that we went in, they gave us a tour of the birthing place, which was, we got to see the postpartum delivery area, the where they do the surgical, C-sections. There was someone back there, so we didn't get to go back and see that part, but we did get to see, just from the doorway what was back there. Of course, they had the curtain pulled for privacy. The woman had just had a baby, which we got to talk with the grandmother in the waiting room while we were waiting for the head nurse to show up and give us the tour. And at that time, we presented another 162 hats, plus 45 that someone else had crocheted during the previous month. And as well as that, we also donated, I believe, 16 quilts. Maybe it was 12. It was something like that. But also at the same time, there was a woman there that she crochets hats, baby hats with us, turns them in as part of the yarn posse. She also represents the Center County Quilting Guild. I believe that's what it's called. But every year, March the 17th is National Quilt Day, and they present a quilt for the first baby born on March 17th or closest to it. And they get a whole storyline about how, the National Quilt Day and all that kind of stuff about it. So it was kind of a combination thing. And then, of course, the hospital UPMC treated us to a lunch. There were 10 of us that attended this, and which doesn't represent everyone that knits and crochets for us, but it was a good sampling. A lot of the other people had other things that they had to do, and quilters, of course, were with it. So that was a nice little thing. It was fun. Of course, it's getting close to time to make new hats. I also got, this is called Gentle White. In the past, I've gotten the white at AC Moore with the Nicole Stitch Studio. They're classic. But for some reason, what's on the wall now has like a grayish cast to it, and they're calling it white, and I just don't like it. I don't think it's appropriate. So, because baby's coloring changes within the first few days, and I think a white with a gray cast just really wouldn't look good on the babies. Also got this. This is called Cottage Blue. Nice little pretty blue. And then I got some more variegated yarns. I kind of like variegated yarns. And this one is called Impression. This one is called Raindrops. Real pretty. So I did get those. I also needed something to finish my Hedonist house coat. I figured I most likely is going to need maybe a fourth of this yarn, but unfortunately you can't get it in smaller amounts. So this is what I chose to do my Hedonist house coat in. I will show you that when I do the regular yarn podcast later on. It is called Deep Violet. It is a Karen 1-pounder. And of course I used a coupon to get 50% off, so it was about $5. Then we get into some of the other yarns I picked up. One of the days that we'd gone to Scraps and Skeins in that month of February that I kind of went missing between then and March. We had stopped at, I'm not going to go to Michael's yet. I'm also going to show you what I had gotten previously earlier in the week at AC Moore, and it's called Sky Mix. I got 3 skeins of that. Now I'm going to tell you what we did after we went to Scraps and Skeins, because I had a lot of material that I needed to drop off. They also take material for quilters. Well, any kind of material. But I needed to drop off some material that I couldn't use, so I did take that in. And then at that time they were having a sale with Trader Joe's bags. You fill up full Trader Joe's bags at that time for $10, and I got a bunch of different kind of yarns and things. I've already turned into hats for prayer shawl and whatnot. And it's more yarn. I mean, more fabric. So I really just traded fabric. But we also had been given a batting that was really thick for our quilting group. And it was really too thick to use for us. So I donated that, and that was a nice big large piece. Probably about the size of a queen size quilt. So I donated that and some other scraps as well. Then when we went on to Michael's, we decided to go to Michael's. Michael's was having a sale, and this was Falling Leaves. I liked it a lot. I wasn't going to buy a whole lot of yarn because, good grief, people, I don't need yarn. But I can't say no to yarn when I see it and want it. And then while we were there, they also had the Karen Big Cakes on sale. These were actually clearance. And so I got this skein. It's called, and it's kind of a mess. It's called Honeyberry. They also had a lot of the mint fudge. I think it's called mint chocolate fudge or chocolate mint fudge balls on sale, but I didn't get any of those. I wasn't really that interested in that color. It's a nice color. I probably would, if I'd have gotten some, I would have gotten some and used it for an Afghan for males. But I just wasn't in the mood for it at that time. This last trip that I also went, when I went to Scraps and Skeins, at the very front there were several 20-ounce bags of Fiberfill at that chest for free. It had a hole where, a small hole about like that, and then a little pin prick, and then the pinprick looked like it had gotten some water damage to it, just in that one little spot. And they had determined that they couldn't sell it because it was stained. So they were giveaway. I grabbed one. The lady behind me grabbed the other. Of course, then it was gone. There were some yarns that I did leave in the freebie because I didn't think they were suitable. I think they were more of the what we used to use for rug yarn, and because it was really coarse. So I determined I wasn't going to get it. Now we're going to get to the giveaway. In the giveaway, I'm going to give away 2 balls of mandala. This is in the color Gnome. And I did get both of those skeins in Gnome colorway. You're going to get that. There will be 2 bags. One will be a drawstring bag. The other one is one that someone gave me from the SPCA. They had donated money to it and they received it as a gift and they don't use it. So they threw that in as a gift to give as a tote. And it has an American flag on it. And it's got a zippered pocket in the front. Closes with Velcro. It's really a very nice bag. So I'm going to include that. And a couple of surprises. So here are the rules for the yarn giveaway. You have to be able to receive yarn from the United States. You have to be able to receive things from the United States. You also have to be a subscriber of this channel. Oh, bummer. Yeah, I'm going to make it for just subscribers. You must leave a comment. In that comment, somewhere you have to leave these 2 words. Fat rat. I'll say that again. Fat rat. Fat Rat was the nickname we had given our cat. She was a tuxedo kitty. She passed away a few years ago, but for some reason I was thinking a lot about Fat Rat. Here in the apartment where we're at, many times we hear noises upstairs that were sounds that Fat Rat, Caitlin was her real name, she used to do when she would run from the one bedroom to our bedroom and jump up on the bed. And we often hear that noise. So, we think Fat Rat's still visiting us. She may or may not be. May just be my imagination. But that's what you're going to have to include in the comment below. So, like I said, this is going to run through December the 9th. On the 10th, I will pick a winner from that using a random generator, the program that YouTube has for things. So, good luck. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. Remember to leave a comment down below with the keywords Fat Rat in it. You can add any other thing you want to in it. I'd ask for you to join, subscribe, click the like button. Not only that, but hit the little bell that you see to the next side so that you'll get notifications of when I post things up on this channel. With that, I'll see you in a few minutes later. Although this will probably, the yarn podcast will probably be posted later on this week. It probably won't be put up, today. So, I'll see you soon. Good luck.